I died choking on my own blood. The taste of betrayal as bitter as the antifreeze they'd laced into my eggnog. The last thing I saw was my husband, Mark, laughing with my best friend Lisa over the turkey carcass, their hands intertwined under the tablecloth stained with my spilled life. And then, nothing, until I gasped awake in my own bed, the alarm clock screaming 6 a.m. on the morning of Thanksgiving Eve, my heart pounding like I'd just clawed out of a grave. It was November 23rd, 2023, exactly 1 year before the night they erased me, and I was back in this body, this life, with every scar of their treachery etched into my soul. My name is Sienna Harper, and in my first life, I was the fool who built everything for them. At 38, I'd clawed my way from a trailer park in rural Ohio to a corner office in Chicago's Loop, founding Harper Innovations, a boutique tech firm specializing in AI-driven supply chain software. It was my baby, my blood, sweat, and midnight coding sessions that turned a $50,000 startup loan into a $12 million valuation. Mark, my husband of 12 years, was the charming sales guy I'd hired fresh out of Northwestern, all dimples and promises. Lisa, my college roommate from the University of Illinois, the one who'd held my hand through my parents' car crash when I was 22, whispering we'd conquer the world together. We did, until they decided the world was too small for three. That Thanksgiving, I'd been in Seattle closing a deal with Amazon execs, the kind that would have pushed our valuation over $15 million. Mark and Lisa convinced me to fly solo. Take the win. Babe, we'll hold down the fort. I trusted them. Landed back in O'Hare at midnight. Cab straight to our brownstone in Lincoln Park, dreaming of leftovers and lazy football on the couch. But when I unlocked the door, the house pulsed with bass-thumped laughter. Fairy lights strung across the foyer, the air thick with rosemary and deceit. Surprise, they chorused Mark, Lisa, and a dozen colleagues from the firm, toasting to Harper Innovations' future in my absence. I smiled through the exhaustion, poured myself that fatal eggnog, and raised a glass to absent friends. By dawn, I was convulsing on the guest room floor, the party long scattered, Mark discovering me too late. The autopsy? Accidental poisoning, faulty radiator fluid mixed into holiday cheer. My assets? Funneled into a shell company Mark and Lisa had quietly spun up, claiming I'd been planning a pivot before my tragic mishap. The headlines called it a cautionary tale of workaholic burnout. I called it murder. From beyond the veil. Now, awake in that same bed, Mark's snores rattling from the end sweet like a chainsaw through my rage. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I sat up, sheets pooling around my waist, and felt the weight of my wedding ring like a noose. This was my second chance, a cosmic mulligan. Or maybe just the universe's sick joke. But I wasn't the Sienna who'd apologize for her ambition anymore. No. This Sienna was going to burn it all down, starting with the lies they'd buried deeper than my casket. I slipped out of bed, bare feet silent on the hardwood, and padded to my home office. The laptop hummed to life. Password unchanged, Sienna Rules 2023. God. They were sloppy. I pulled up the firm's shared drive, my fingers flying over keys I'd forgotten how to touch without carpal tunnel. There it was, the folder marked confidential_pivot. Emails from 6 months back. Mark to Lisa, she's out of town too much. We execute on the 23rd. By Black Friday, it's ours. Screenshots of forged docs, my digital signature photoshopped onto transfer agreements. The antifreeze? Sourced from the garage under Winter Prep, with Lisa's Amazon order history as the receipt. My blood boiled, but I forced ice into my veins. Revenge wasn't a sprint, it was a marathon of calculated cuts. First, I needed proof they couldn't spin. I fired off an anonymous tip to the firm's external auditors, nothing accusatory. Just irregularities in valuation projections? Check pivot folder. CC'd my personal lawyer. The shark from my divorce contingency planning, ironic. That. Then, I delved deeper, mirroring their entire server to an offshore drive I'd set up years ago for backup paranoia. By 7 a.m., I had gigabytes of their digital news. Mark stirred as I brewed coffee, his tousled blonde hair and boyish grin emerging like a bad sequel. Morning. Gorgeous. Big day. Lisa's handling the party prep. You good? He pecked my cheek. Breath minty with last night's whiskey cover-up. In my old life, I'd melt. Now, I smiled, sharp as a stiletto. Never better. But let's talk business first. That pivot idea, tell me more. His eyes flickered. A microsecond of panic.
Just brainstorming.
Why? I shrugged. Casual. Heard whispers at the Seattle meet. Thought we could align before the holiday rush. He bought it. Rambling half-baked BS while I nodded, memorizing every evasion. Lisa buzzed in at 9. All yoga pants and false hugs. Her dark curls bouncing like she hadn't plotted my demise. Sienna, jet lag treating you okay? The caterer's en route. Turkey's organic. Just like you wanted. Her laugh tinkled. But I caught the edge. The way her gaze darted to Mark. Perfect.
Hey.
Can you pull the latest financials? I want a review before guests arrive. She paled under her bronzer. Now, it's Thanksgiving Eve. I tilted my head. All innocence. Family first, right? Or is there something pressing? The day unraveled like a pulled thread. While they scrambled, Mark on frantic calls to fix the books, Lisa accidentally spilling wine on her laptop to buy time, I played the gracious host. Invited extra guests. Not just colleagues, but my old mentor from UI,
DR.
Elena Vasquez, a forensic accountant with a grudge against corporate fraud from her Enron days. And Victor Hale, the SEC whistleblower I'd mentored anonymously online, posing as a distant cousin from Ohio. Subtle landmines, each one primed. By evening, the brownstone thrummed with arrivals' cork pops, jazz crooning from the Sonos, the scent of sage stuffing masking the rot beneath. I glided through in a crimson sheath dress, the color of fresh accusations, clinking glasses and dropping hints like grenades. Mark's been so innovative lately. Ever hear of this pivot? I'd murmur to a VP, watching sweat bead on his brow. To Lisa, over charcuterie. You and I. We've shared everything. Any secrets I should know before the new year? Her smile cracked. Eyes darting to the eggnog bowl she'd personally mixed, no poison this time. But the memory hung heavy. As plates cleared, I steered the crowd to the living room. Fire crackling. Football droning ignored on the TV. A toast, I called, voice steady, glass raised. To family, the ones we choose, and the ones who choose us back. Eyes on me, expectant. Mark's arm around Lisa's waist, possessive. I sipped clean, thank God, and continued. And to truths. Like how Harper Innovations isn't just mine anymore. Or is it? Gasps rippled. I pulled out my phone. Projector synced to the wall. The emails, the forgeries, timestamps glaring. Surprise. Darlings. I've been home all day. Chaos erupted. Mark lunged for the remote. Sienna? What the hell? But Victor had him in a headlock before he blinked. Ex-CIA muscle under that cousin facade. Lisa shrieked. It's not what it looks like, as Elena scrolled the drive on her tablet, nodding grimly. Embezzlement. Fraud.
And.
Attempted murder?
Oh.
Honey, it's exactly what it looks like. The guests, our employees, whispered. Phones out. Liv tweeting the implosion. I stood amid it, heart thundering, but alive. Vindicated. Cops arrived by 10 p.m., sirens slicing the holiday hush. Mark and Lisa cuffed in the foyer, protesting innocence to deaf ears. She set us up, Mark bellowed, but the antifreeze bottle from the garage, dusted for prints, told another tale. As they were dragged out, Lisa twisted back, eyes venomous. You were always too ambitious. Sienna. We did you a favor. I leaned close. Whisper only for her. No. Sweetheart. This is the favor returned. The house emptied. Echoes of slammed doors and shocked goodbyes. I poured myself a Real drink, bourbon neat, and sank into the armchair, the fire dying to embers. Victor clapped my shoulder. Brave move. Exposing it like that. SEC's gonna love this. Elena stayed, poring over docs till midnight. Her quiet, you're a survivor. Kid, the bomb I needed. By dawn. Headlines brewed. Tech CEO foils corporate coup at Thanksgiving fete. But as the adrenaline crashed, doubt crept. Was this victory? Or just the start? Mark's last glare promised war, lawyers, smears, the full arsenal of a man cornered. And Lisa? That whisper hid deeper venom. I'd glimpsed a text on her phone earlier. To an unknown number. If Sienna pushes, activate Plan B. What the hell was Plan B? The fallout hit like a Black Friday stampede. By noon on Thanksgiving Day, my inbox overflowed, reporters sniffing for quotes, board members demanding emergency calls, even my estranged sister in Cleveland texting, WTF.
Sienna?
On the news, I ignored it all, barricaded in the brownstone with Elena and a pot of decaf. The turkey sat cold on the counter, a mocking monument to what could have been. You need to go public, Elena urged, her silver-streaked bun impeccable even in crisis. Frame the narrative before they do. She was right. In America, truth was the first casualty of spin. I drafted the post on LinkedIn, raw, unfiltered, grateful for second chances this Thanksgiving. Discovered betrayal in my own home last night. Details to follow. But know this, Harper Innovations endures because of trust. Mine was broken, but not irreparably. Attached, redacted screenshots. Just enough to hook without handing ammo to suits. Hit send at 2 p.m. By 3, it had 500 likes, 200 shares. Comments poured, support from old colleagues. Knew something was off. Outrage from industry peers, girl boss revenge. And the inevitable trolls, feminazi drama queen. I muted notifications. But the validation hummed like vindication's high. Mark's lawyer called at 4. Voice oily as turkey grease, Mr. Harper maintains his innocence. This is a marital spat.
Yes.
Harper will countersue for defamation. I laughed, actually laughed, into the receiver. Tell him to enjoy county lockup. Bail's denied pending investigation.
Click.
Small wins fueled me, but sleep evaded that night. Curled under quilts scented with pine from the undressed tree in the corner, I replayed the reincarnation glitch. Why me? Why now? Flashes of the void. Endless gray. A whisper like wind through code. Fix it. Was this purgatory's probation? Or just neural misfire from antifreeze neurotoxins? Didn't matter. I was here, and hell had no fury like a woman rebooted. Friday dawned gray. Chicago wind whipping Lake Michigan's chop into frenzy. I met Victor at a dive bar in Wicker Park, greasy spoons and anonymity over mimosas. Ex-CIA. He'd gone private after blowing the whistle on a drone surveillance scandal. Now freelancing as consultant to the aggrieved. Plan B, I said, sliding him Lisa's phone pic from last night. He whistled low. Burner number. Routed through VPNs. Pro level. Your girl's got connections. Turns out, Lisa's yoga instructor side gig masked freelance hacking for a Windy City syndicate, petty cybercrimes. Nothing federal, but enough to fund her and Mark's pivot dreams. Victor traced it to a P.O. box in Bridgeport, rented under a ghost name, Elena Voss. Wait, Elena? My Elena? Paranoia spiked. I confronted her that afternoon in my office, now a war room of laptops and legal pads. Voss, ring any bells? Her face drained of color, hands trembling on her coffee mug. Sienna? That was my maiden name. Before I changed it after the divorce. Bullshit detector pinged. Elena's Enron grudge? Personal. Her ex had been a mid-level exec. Ruined her life with lies and liens. But the timing, hired me as mentor 6 months post-crash, cozying up just as Mark's emails started. You played me, I hissed, backing her to the door. Fed them intel, then flipped to save me for the hero points. She crumpled, tears carving tracks through makeup. It started innocent, old ties to your board, through my ex. They paid me to spy. Small stuff, travel schedules, deal whispers. But the poison? I didn't know till after. When you came back, God. How? I saw my out. Redemption. Lies layered on lies. Victor's trace confirmed. Payments from the shell company to Evie. Consulting. My mentor. My savior, another blade in the back. Controversial decision 1. I didn't call the cops.
Not yet.
Prove it, I told her. Infiltrate their legal team. Get me the kill shot. She nodded. Broken but bound. Betrayal's web was vast. I'd untangle it thread by bloody thread. Weekend blurred into strategy sessions. I rallied the loyalists, 3 VPs who'd ghosted post-scandal. Now sheepish in my Zoom frame. We're purging, I declared. New board. Transparent audits. Equity for all who stayed true. They bought in. Eyes gleaming with Second Life promise. But the smears hit hard. TMZ splashed Tech Titan's turkey meltdown, affair or ambush, with grainy pics of Mark and Lisa's holiday hug. Anonymous ex-threads dubbed me Psycho Sienna, speculating I'd hallucinated the whole thing on edibles. Public opinion teetered. Believe women clashed with innocent until proven. The American pastime of picking sides in the Coliseum of cliques. Monday. I lawyered up proper. Rebecca Klein, the barracuda who'd shredded Weinstein's alibis. Over kale salads at the Gauge. She laid it out. Criminal case is solid. Antifreeze traces match the bottle. Your blood toxicology screams intent. But civil? They'll drag your marriage through mud. Affairs you never had. Erratic behavior from stress. You want scorched earth. Her eyes narrowed. Leak the full drive to Wired. Anonymize the good guys. Torch the rest. Controversial decision 2. Do it. By Tuesday, the article dropped. Inside Harper Innovations' poison pivot. Emails, lies, and a CEO's near murder. Shares tanked 40%, but inquiries surged, investors smelling blood in the water. Poaching talent from the wreckage. Mark made bail, Wednesday. $500,000 wired from who knows where. He showed at the brownstone unannounced. 9 p.m. sharp, reeking of cologne and desperation. Sienna?
Please.
Talk. I let him in, Mike hidden in the ficus. Victor listening from a van down the block. He paced the living room, hands raking hair. It was her idea. Lisa. The money. We were drowning. Your trips. The firm eating us alive. I loved you. But ambition? It blinded you. Gaslighting gold. I played along. Soft. Then, why the poison? He cracked. Voice dropping. Panic. She said it'd look like accident by time for the transfer. I swear. I didn't mean. Meant to? The recording caught it crystal. Confession on tape. But as he begged, something twisted in me. 12 years, vacations in Napa. His hand in mine at my parents' graveside. Was this revenge? Or erasure? I shoved the doubt down. Get out, I said. Door open to the sleet-snarled street. He left cursing, but not before dropping the bomb. Lisa's pregnant. Sienna. With my kid. You destroy us. You kill that too. The door slammed. Silence roared. Pregnant? The timeline fit, conceived in my bed.
My house.
My blind spot. Nausea hit. Not from poison, but purity's theft. Thursday brought the arraignment. Cook County Courthouse. Fluorescent hell of marble and murmurs. I sat front row. Rebecca at my side. As Mark and Lisa shuffled in orange jumpsuits. Faces gaunt. The judge read charges. Conspiracy to commit murder. Wire fraud. Embezzlement. Lisa's belly just starting to show under the scrubs. Subtle swell. Undeniable gut punch. Her eyes met mine across the docket. Not hate, but hollow plea. Mark avoided me. Jaw clenched. Bail revoked. Flight risk. The DA argued. Citing offshore accounts. Gavel fell. Remanded. Outside. Paparazzi swarmed like locusts. Sienna, is it true about the affair? Will you sell the firm? I faced them. Wind whipping my coat like wings. Justice isn't revenge. But accountability? That's non-negotiable. Flashbulbs popped. I walked tall. But inside. Fissures spread. Elena texted. Got it. Prosecutor's notes on Plan B. It's you. Sienna. Insurance policy. Fabricated affair pics. Time to drop if cornered. They'd planned to paint me the villain. Jealous harpy driving her man to desperation. Clever bitches. That night, alone with takeout lo mein and a bottle of cab, I scrolled old photos, Mark and me at our wedding. Lisa bridesmaid beaming. The good times mocked me. Controversial decision 3. I visited Lisa in Holding the next day. No recorder. Just me and the glass partition. Her in a paper gown that hid nothing. Why? I asked, voice cracking for the first time. She pressed a hand to her bump, tears streaming. You had it all. We had scraps. The baby. It's a fresh start. Fresh on my ruins. Tell Mark I kept recording, I lied. Confess. Or it leaks, with the paternity results I just ordered. Bluff. But her flinch confirmed. Mark was the father. She nodded. Broken. For the kid. By week's end, the DA had her flip, full immunity for testimony against Mark. The trial loomed, but victory soured. The firm? Sold to a VC collective. My payout a cool $8 million, but hollow. Colleagues drifted. Whispers of toxic culture, my parting gift. And the baby, due in June, a living reminder I'd orphaned my own legacy. Winter gripped Chicago like a grudge. January's blizzards burying the brownstone in drifts that matched my mood. The trial prep consumed me, depositions in sterile conference rooms, Rebecca drilling me on cross-exams like a boot camp sergeant. They'll humanize him, she warned over steamy pastrami at Manny's. The devoted husband, led astray by a vixen sidekick. You, the ice queen who prioritized spreadsheets over supper. I nodded, but the label stung. In my first life, I'd burned for being too much, too driven, too distant.
Now,
reborn, I wondered if the poison had been mercy, sparing me the slow death of compromise. Lisa's testimony dropped the hammer. February 14th, Valentine's irony, courtroom packed with reporters. The air thick with flashbulb heat and hushed bets. She took the stand in a modest gray dress. Bump prominent now. 4 months along. I sourced the antifreeze, she admitted, voice quavering but clear. Mark handled the mix. We timed it for the party, Sienna away. Us celebrating the transfer. Gasps echoed. Mark's head snapped up. Betrayal mirroring mine. Objection overruled. Exhibits flashed. Emails. Bottle prints. Her Amazon log. Plan B was defamation, she continued. Eyes on her lap. Fabricated texts. Photos, to make Sienna look unstable. But I couldn't. Not after. The defense shredded her, gold digger. Coerced confessor. But the jury, 6 women strong,
leaned in.
Mark's turn was carnage, charm offensive. Tears for our life together, blaming midlife pressures and Lisa's seduction. He glanced at me once. Eyes pleading forgive, as if. My testimony sealed it. Calm recount of the party, the eggnog burn. Waking to this glitch. I died that night, I said, voice steady under the scrutiny. But something, gave me back my voice. Whispers of crazy rippled, but Rebecca's redirect spun it. Resilience. Not delusion. Deliberations stretched 3 days. The city thawing into March mud. I paced the brownstone. Victor shadowing for protection. Lisa's syndicate ties had loose ends. Whispers of retaliation. Elena vanished post-flip. A note on my desk. Redemption's a lie. Use the money for good.
E.
Her account's frozen. Last seen at O'Hare bound for Mexico. Another ghost. Verdict dropped on a Friday the 13th. Courtroom electric. Guilty, Mark on all counts. 25 to life. Lisa, 10 years. Suspended sentence for the baby. House arrest till birth. As cuffs clicked, Mark lunged across the bar, screaming, "You bitch. This is your fault." Bailiffs wrestled him down. I stood unmoved. But the words echoed my doubts. Outside, crowds chanted justice for Sienna, bouquets at my feet like a funeral I survived. Rebecca hugged me fierce. You did it. Free. Freedom tasted like ash. The payout cleared. I shuddered the brownstone, too haunted by laughter's echo, and decamped to a Gold Coast high-rise. Floor-to-ceiling views of the churning lake. Spring bloomed, but I withered. Therapy sessions unpacking the reincarnation trauma, therapist's polite term for breakdown. Nights jolted awake by phantom chokes. Victor became fixture, dinners at Girl and the Goat. His dry humor thawing my frost. You're not ice.
Sienna.
Your steel, bends, doesn't break. By May, it blurred to more, tentative kisses. Hands tracing scars I hadn't known I carried. Lisa's due date loomed like a specter. I could have walked away, new life, new love. But controversial decision 4. The gut punch finale. I visited her in the maternity wing. Anonymous donor through channels. Not for forgiveness, but closure. She labored alone. Mark's appeals dragging in Supermax. The baby arrived at dawn, a girl. 7 pounds even. Tufts of dark curls like Lisa's. But eyes?
Green.
Like mine. Wait, no. Paternity test. Rushed postbirth. 99.9% match to Mark.
But the eyes.
Coincidence? Or cosmic joke? Lisa named her Harper. Twisted tribute or taunt? I watched from the hall, glass wall between us, as she cradled the swaddle. Our eyes met. No words. Just a nod. Understanding? Maybe. She'd robbed me of a family. Now fate handed her fragments of mine. I left a trust $1 million. Irrevocable for the kids' education. Not mercy. Balance. June brought reinvention. I launched Sienna Forge, a non-profit arm for women in tech, mentorships, whistleblower funds, AI ethics workshops. The media lapped it, from Poison to Phoenix. Victor proposed over rooftop ribs. Rings simple platinum. Second chances, he toasted. I said yes, but with a clause, no kids. My womb, like my trust,
Sealed.
Thanksgiving 2024 circled back. A year post-rebirth. We hosted, small, Victor's sister and her brood. Elena's ghost in an empty chair, forgiven. In absence. Turkey golden. No eggnog in sight. As we carved, laughter real this time, I slipped to the porch. City lights twinkling like stars reclaimed. The void whispered again. Fixed. Not quite. Scars lingered. Betrayal's brand. The what-ifs of unlived lives. But regret? None. They'd thrown the party without me once. This time, I threw it on my terms, and the only ones regretting were ghosts. In the end, revenge wasn't the fire that consumed them, it was the light that forged me anew.
And damn.
It burned bright.